Well, look at this beautiful view of downtown St. Paul and the Mississippi River with all of the paddle boats lined up, waiting for a nice spring day for people to start riding on them. But the river is not our attraction today, no siree. It is this building behind me right here, the Science Museum of Minnesota. One of the bigger attractions as far as museums and things like that in Minnesota that it has taken me a long time to get to, but we are going to cover it today, finally. Well, hello there, and welcome to another beautiful day for an adventure here on Tommy Travels the Second. And that's right, that building right behind me, that's the Science Museum of Minnesota, and I'm sure they have a lot of cool attractions and things to see in there. I haven't been here in many years, and I have no idea what the main exhibit is or anything about it, so we are going to check it out. If you are brand new to this channel, go ahead and hit subscribe so you don't miss out on a thing. Come on with me, guys, let's go see what there is to see. And incidentally, this building across the street is the Xcel Energy Center. There's a lot of concerts and venues that go on in this building, and it's also where the Minnesota Wild play hockey. And here's a look at the front entrance of the Science Museum of Minnesota, and you're greeted by a giant pterodactyl flying right overhead and a huge Tyrannosaurus Rex. But that's not all you can do. Look at this Tyrannosaurus Rex head we have, and you can even open and close its mouth by pulling this lever right here. Let's just take... Oh, it's quite difficult to pull it back and forth. Wow, they don't make it easy on you, but you can make them talk and say things. Hey, you guys! Subscribe to Tommy Travels the Second. Well said, T-Rex head. Well said. There's the entrance to the exhibits, but before we go in there, take a look at this. A 1956 Buick Special Convertible right here in the lobby, and that is in supreme condition. I like the contrast of the pink and black as well. And remember white wall tires? Cars always used to have white wall tires. I remember my dad washing the car when I was a kid, and he would always have to get out the brush and scrub those white walls to get them nice and white and shiny clean. You don't see that anymore. There's a look at where we came in, and they've just got exhibits everywhere. And there's a few floors worth of them, and even on the ceilings. You have to look everywhere around here. Always something to see. This is a picture of the riverfront right here in St. Paul, as it would have looked 11,700 years ago. But what about something more recent? We have this little crank right here, which will let us know what it looked like. If you keep cranking it like this, it changes the picture. And that was the St. Paul riverfront in 1873. Lots of changes over that amount of time. And if we keep going, that is what it looked like in 1999. And much more similar to what we saw at the beginning of this video. That is fun, and quite a workout. And look at this view of the Mississippi River.
There'll be room for you guys.
We are from high atop a towboat here. We have a chair, we have a steering lever. We could do some steering. We could call in some things on the old radio here. We've got our map and our radar. We are all set to go from a bird's eye view. Let me just do this. Okay, good. Yep, and here we go. Traveling away. I've never traveled this way on Tommy Travels or Tommy Travels the Second, but it sure is fun. And here's a look at the last journey of the tugboat that we were just on. Look at that, that's what she looked like back then in 1997 when it was taken out of service. Great view from up top, you can see everything from up there. And they've got this case with different insects in it, including the monarch butterfly. And the monarch butterfly, we all know that one, but some of them we may not be so familiar with, so they have this handy chart, which is kind of a cool thing to have. Like this one right here, that is a black swallow butterfly, number 14, or number 10 is a red admiral butterfly. But this one over here, number 16, that is a cicada. And I remember those very well from my days in St. Louis. They were all over the place one summer. Oh my goodness, this is probably my favorite thing I've seen so far today. Gone but not forgotten. Once we were your treasured friends, we wandered blindly through the bends of sewer pipes. We've had enough. The moral is, don't flush your stuff. And these are all the things that have been found in the sewers that have been flushed down some toilets. And then they've got names for them too. Buctus riptus, Automobilius artificialis, Pumpus gasolinus, Relus pincus. I love that. And it would appear, judging by the collection of items that they have, it's mostly kids flushing things down the toilet, just as I suspected. And now we've come from the 5th floor down to the 4th floor, and they've got all these little exhibits set up with different medical devices that did not work. And this one reminds me of the Dukes of Hazzard, Boss Hogg. He used to get on one of these every once in a while. You'd see him talking to Roscoe, all hooked up to one of these things. But they've been proven not to work. They came out in the 1800s and people wanted it to work really bad, but they didn't.
Galileo quite famously showed us two things that were equally dense. Say you had two cannonballs made of the same kind of metal. A big bowling ball sized one and a little cranberry sized one would actually fall at the same speed. Why? Because they're equally dense. And Galileo said it's not about weight, it's about density. Alright, let's settle it once and for all by dropping pillows. This blue pillow is larger and heavier than this stripy pillow. Now, the blue pillow may weigh more, but the stripy pillow is a little bit denser. So that means if the blue pillow hits the floor first, Aristotle was right, it was all about weight. Stripy pillow, Galileo was right, it's all about density. So here we go, everybody. Weight versus density, Aristotle versus Galileo, Greece versus Italy. Who will win? A countdown, please, from 3 to 1. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Italy with the win.
So as you can see, the stripy pillow, it fell faster because it is more dense and compact than the heavier pillow.
It is called Infestation, and it's all about the human body. Like this hand right here. All sorts of things can happen to your hand. Like a smashed nail. You can have one of those. There's dried blood down here. This is the new nail. This is blood and bone. That's how a new nail grows. It's got all sorts of different little things on here that you can get, like a blister or a scar, or pick the scab. Oh, gross. Wow. All sorts of interactive things. And just gross enough for kids to love it. Here's an exhibit called Scope on a Rope. That is the scope, and it shows you the epithelial tissue on your skin, a close-up view of it. And so what you do is take this handle here and put it up on your skin, which is what I'm going to do right on my arm, and then you can look at the screen and see what it finds. And then it shows the hair and the skin and the tissue of your arm. That is a little creepy and gross, but another reason kids will love it. And they have these cute little displays right here that are all maneuvered by levers and springs and gears. And you can press the button and it'll show what these things will do. They go into motion. And this little guy looks pretty cool. Let's see what happens. Oh, wow. He's stirring his coffee. That is amazing. And it's all because of this lever here grinding through all the gears and making it all happen. And this one is called Jackal in the Box. And let's see what happens when we push the button. Just as I expected. This is the most recent item in the display from 2001, and it's called Writer's Cramp. Let's push the button and see what he does. Banging away at the typewriter. Oh, and look, the page comes up too, and his head pops open. And there's a little fish swimming around in his head.
So I'm going to use one of our favorite substances here at Science Live, liquid nitrogen. Now you probably know liquid nitrogen is extremely cold. Nitrogen's properties though are fascinating. In its liquid state, liquid nitrogen boils at 320 degrees below zero. So up here at room temperature, it's boiling furiously. And just the same way that boiling water can power a power plant that can give electricity to a whole city, the expanding nitrogen, changing from a liquid into a gas, should hopefully generate enough energy to shoot the thing up and out of there. Everyone, safety talk. This is the first of several hazmat things I'm going to be doing today. So if you want to watch the show, you've got to promise me that you will keep you and your kids off stage, both during and after the show. If we have a deal, let me hear you say deal. Lovely, okay. We'll pour some of this in here. Now if anything ends up in the audience or on the floor, just do not attempt to touch it. Bring your hands in like a T-Rex, and I will come and get it. So once again, nitrogen boils at 320 degrees below zero. So this is boiling furiously, and hopefully, as it expands from 1 part liquid into 696 parts gas, hopefully that will generate enough energy to send this up and on a little trip towards the ceiling. All right, fingers crossed. Here we go. Please work, please work, please work, please work, please work, please work, please work.
We have now moved down to the 3rd level. This is the science level where they have all sorts of experiments set up for the kids and dinosaurs. This is one of the biggest and longest dinosaurs out there. It was called the Diplodocus. And look at that. The head balanced out the tail, and the tail was very long. Look at how far this guy stretches across the room. Unbelievable. I'm glad that dinosaurs aren't around today. Can you imagine one of these guys crossing the road in traffic? And this is a Paraphosaurus. It is a bird. It is one of several large bird species that lived in South America. Could be about as big as an ostrich or so. And people ask, is this a terror crane or overgrown vegetarian? Large birds like this one were once assumed to be terrifying carnivores, preying on small animals and lizards. But the answer to that is no. No living flight birds are exclusively meat eaters. In fact, there were some studies done and it was shown that these birds were more likely to be ones that ate seeds and nuts like toucans and parrots. That is some good news. Curious about how a tornado gets formed. This is it right here. There's a fan down here. And look at that. It goes all the way up to that fan up there. And there we have it. A tornado in the springtime in Minnesota. Not exactly Tornado Alley in this state, but right here it definitely is. Well, you guys, this has been another successful adventure here today on Tommy Travels the Second. It feels like I'm out in nature, but I'm not. I'm inside, and we have discovered 3 floors of goodness here at the Science Museum today. The second floor doesn't have any exhibits on it, I found out, and there really isn't the first floor, so it's 3 floors, but I only showed a fraction of what there is to see in here. If you guys liked what you saw here today, go ahead and hit like on my YouTube channel. Go ahead and hit subscribe so you can be the first to know when a new adventure comes out. Also, if you'd like to see the other half of this adventure, that's on my main Tommy Travels channel, which is in the link below. This was a double adventure today. And thank you guys so much for the support that you've given me so far. And until next time, I hope to catch you on the flip side.